about to get to now, just checking very carefully in here, is one of the lion's favorite spots, the Nkuhumas in particular. When I very first started working here, oof, bumpy, they had a buffalo kill in this exact spot. Let's go see if there's water here. Might sort of stir them into moving in this direction. But if they did, then they certainly didn't use the roads. There's water here, but no sign of any lions coming to drink. Just one noisy turtle dove making his way. The perfect spot for a turtle dove to come and drink. Most of the mammals you'll find at this point will ignore this water. It doesn't look very appetizing, does it? Even to that turtle dove that's trying to find a place in where it doesn't have to get its feet too muddy. Oh, no, that won't do. Yes, no. I'll pop. Maybe there. It's a bit better. Nope. Rejected. Oh, maybe actually you've changed my mind. There we go. It's actually a really awesome view of this bird. Oh, it was a really awesome view of that bird. It's gone now. What I was going to say is there are very few mammals that would be... they'd be happy to drink from that water if that was all that there was. But it's muddy, it's green, it's brackish. It's not really what they're looking for a nice refreshing drink. And speaking of our bird species, and the rain and the summer and the change of season, HKP, not just yet. So HKP was wondering if it isn't the time for the woodlands kingfisher to come back to the Kruger National Park. No, it isn't. We're still far too early in the year. We'll only see them towards November, December, depending on the various areas and where it gets their rain first. So they arrive at different parts of the country at different times. A woodlands kingfisher, by the way, is an inter-African migrant, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this particular bird. I haven't got my bird book because I was worried it was going to rain. I didn't bring anything that couldn't be quickly sheltered away from the storm. That didn't happen. Nevertheless, I don't have my bird book to show you a picture, but it is a really beautiful bird, and it's one that when it arrives, everybody knows about it. One day they're not there, the next day they're there, and they are filling the air with the sounds of their chirp, chirp calls. Very, very vocal birds, and you find that you miss them until they've been with you for about 2 weeks and they're continuously doing that chirp, chirp outside your window at all hours of the day, and it's full moon nights as well. Not yet, but that is something that you have to look forward to over the coming months, HKP. On our way now, I think, to Cheetah Plains. We'll go and see what we can find there, and maybe show you the surprise that I have up my sleeve. While we head across there, let's go to James for an update.
Well, we've come into the area where the lions were. I know Jamie has been here, and now she's off to find you a surprise at Cheetah Plains, which sounds very exciting indeed. I think we're going to do a little bit of a search around here as well, just in case one of them doesn't pop out onto the road on his way to Buffelshoek perhaps for a drink, or one of the lionesses decides she's rather tired of spending time with her cubs and needs a bit of alone time. We might find one of them popping out at the dam or walking up onto the road. The number of times, and I know that you've heard Brent say this, the number of times we find tracks on top of our own vehicle tracks sort of crossing behind us is well, it's too many to be funny, actually. So we'll go around there now and just have a look-see. I suspect quite strongly that they've gone off towards Hyena Road, which is well, it's kind of between where the kill is and the dam, and getting a car in there is almost impossible, and especially trying to maintain any form of signal with a car in there is nigh on impossible. I haven't found a lion genre, but I have found you a duiker, but that's only because you're a special friend to me. Unfortunately, oh, there it is. I can see it. Can you see it? Just right hand side of the dead tree. You should get it now. With this powerful lens. Look at that. Chandra, have you ever had a sighting of a duiker better than that? It really is. Framed by the tree. Let's just hope a Nat.Geo Wild executive is watching, because you will be whipped off to permanent employment with them immediately.
Ninja style touch of placing the tree.
Exactly. It was very clever of me. Right, excellent duiker sighting. Let's move on. That's the common duiker, of course, and unfortunately, possibly, I mean, I don't want to cast aspersions on the common duiker, but it is a bit common. There's some very, very beautiful duikers around. You get something called a zebra duiker. You get a blue duiker down there. In fact, I'll show you a picture of a blue duiker, because I recently saw one, and that was on the golf course while I was looking for a ball in the deep bush of the Eastern Cape. And I saw a magnificent blue duiker. I shall try and find it in this book without having a crash. Oh, I did have it. There it is. Let me stop the car. I found the black one, not the blue one. I promise it's here, everybody. I promise. There it is. It's that very strange looking thing there. But it's actually a better colour than that. It's a really deep kind of bluey black colour, especially down in the Eastern Cape. Isn't that nice? And look at the zebra duiker. Just have a look at that. And unfortunately only found in that bulge of West Africa around Ghana and the Ivory Coast, and that's not really a place you want to be going at the moment. Wonderful. So we've got the common duiker. Now in South Africa, one of our official languages, of course, is Afrikaans. And Afrikaans has many wonderful words that are not really directly translatable to English or any other language. One of them, which is translatable but carries a slightly more effective meaning, I feel, is the word common, which means common. But if you say that something is common out here, you really, it's said with quite a lot of derision. Hey, Gendre? I'm just trying to think of something that's common about you, but I can't think of anything that's common about Gendre. Is not common at all. He's very unusual. It's not always a good thing. I mean, some bad smells are unusual, but I'm not comparing Gendre with a bad smell. But Gendre is certainly not common. The light is turning rather gorgeously golden at the moment as Jamie heads to Cheetah Plains at high speed. Now, the very complex set of drainage lines that lead from Buffelshoek Dam kind of starts here and then it cuts across, and so into this area here it's almost impossible to get vehicles into. So we're hoping they're not in there. Now, Tricia, you're wondering when these lines are going to kill again, and I would say they will try and kill again actively in about 4 days' time, maybe 3 days. That said, if they are walking around at night, doing some territorial marking, and an opportunity happens to present itself, then absolutely they will go for it. Now, what interests me, and I'm just going to ask Kirsty to confirm this, were there any vultures at the buffalo carcass? Because I don't see any in the trees here. And I find that bizarre. No vultures on the ground, none of them in the trees, and there's still meat on the carcass. Yeah. Maybe they gave up. Yeah, there was, as Gendre says, there was a dead elephant on, or there is a dead elephant on Buffelshoek, and it's quite possible that they decided that was better value. It depresses me that, I tell you, because I think it's because there simply aren't the numbers of vultures that there could be. There's no ways that a buffalo carcass that left alone without the lions would, I don't know, 15 years ago when I started doing this sort of a job, that vultures wouldn't have been on there. Anyway, we'll go and have a look-see. We'll have one pass at the dam and then go and just look up onto that bank around the carcass. So we really do need to keep a sharp eye out here. And there are some vultures in front there, 3 of them. I think Jamie did probably drive this area flat. What have you got? Yes, we've got 3 vultures there, more of them at the dam, it looks like. I'll just quickly show you these ones. I'm not going to tarry long here. Those are 3 white-backed vultures over there. There they are. There's another one in front of us here, and this was the tree that contained 22 vultures in it this morning. That's it there. That had 22 vultures in it. It's now got 1 vulture in it. There we are. So we'll just have a quick look at the dam and then decide from there. Oh, Dave in California, you're wondering about how long it would take to fill these dams if we have a normal rainy season. I think that it's most likely that it's sorry, I'm being distracted by my earpiece here, Game Drive Radio. What was I going to say here? I'm being completely distracted. Right, it's the amount of water that falls out the sky rather than the sort of time. So I think that you'll find that a full season's rain, of good rain, so about 600 millimeters, or what's that, 60 centimeters is 24 inches of rain. I think that will put a pretty good amount of water into Buffelshoek Dam. A really good rainy season of about 1,000 millimeters, which would be exceptional, that's almost double, that would really fill all the dams and maintain them for more than one season. Sorry, it was just Herbert on the radio there, and I wondered where he was. Alrighty. Now, any lions in these little crevices lying on the wall? Lions here. I find that odd. There. What's that? Binoculars. No, it wasn't a tree, it was moving. Don't say it was blowing in the wind. Stop coughing. I can't see. It's a steenbok. Oh, very exciting. You won't be able to see it from here, everybody, with this lens, I'm afraid. Alright, no lions here. So what we'll do, I think, is we'll go down sort of via Hyena Road. I'm not sure how Wendy's signal will be there. Kirsten, do you remember how it was last time? Not good, Chandra. Well, let's try it. Let's try it anyway. We can always go to Jamie if we have to. And I'd quite like to go back to the carcass, because I wonder if they won't come out of the bushes. I wonder if they aren't somewhere in that very difficult area, because there are no vultures on the ground. Because it would be nice to see those little lion cubbies again. What did we call them? Oh yes, we called them Jerry, Kirsty and Louise. That's right. It'd be nice to see Jerry, Kirsty and Louise again. Okay, let's head across to Jamie, see where she is in her travails to... not her travails, her travels to Cheetah Plains.
And on our travels to Cheetah Plains, we are well on our way. It's much windier this side, which is unexpected. But we are between the Mulwanini on Gowrie Main and the Cheetah Plains driveway. So on our left lies Torchwood, where we have ventured onto once or twice with a little bit of permission. But Torchwood, we always talk about the animals going into Torchwood. It's the property that lies to the east of our boundary between us and Kruger National Park. And then on our right is Cheetah, the main part of the leopard Tundi. That's her territory in that particular area, and she even gave birth to and denned her cubs underneath a room, or room number 9, I believe it was, at the Cheetah Lodge. They had to shut the room down, as you do when there's a female leopard with small babies underneath the deck. I think she has since moved them. Now, there's always a chance whenever we head to Cheetah Plains of encountering them. They're still a little bit young. Not sure exactly when they were born, but they must be coming up to 2 months now. So there's still that prospect of Tundi's little ones. Wow. And lots of impala. Hello, impalala. Looking beautiful in the afternoon sun. And actually, for this number of impala, there's probably about 50 or so here, making quite a lot of rustling noise as they move through all of the fallen leaves. And I think that Wiem's point, since he got back from leave, is absolutely correct. They do seem to be forming larger herds now. That's to be expected because they are no longer rutting. There's no longer that disparate nature to the division, with the rams being part of the bachelor herds and the females being off with whichever large ram has managed to collect them, add them to his harem, his collection. They're now all mixed together, but also I think the drought is pushing them into bigger and bigger groups, or at least the dryness of the season. We've got rams of all sizes, like this roughly 3-year-old ram. And then lots of ewes around as well. And all beneath the protective boughs of one of my favorite trees out here, which is the torchwood. You'll hear us refer to it as torchwood, balanites. It's also called the green thorn, the Y-thorn. Lots of different names. It's one of James's favorite trees to climb. You know the drought is bad when the elephants are targeting the torchwoods, which is what they have been doing. We saw that one with Brent the other morning, desperately reaching up to try and get hold of that particular tree. And we'd heard a report. It was weird that sighting happened with Brent that morning, because the night before we were with friends of ours who reported seeing exactly the same thing, elephants desperately reaching up to the top of the branches. And torchwoods tend to grow in this way. They've got a very big long main stem, and then the branches spread out much higher up when they're when they get to the age that this one is. They're beautiful trees and home to lots of animals living in the curves of the bark. You can see why it's sometimes called a Y-thorn. A lot of those thorns, like the one in the middle there, kind of split off into a Y shape. Actually, technically they're not thorns, they're spines. They're modified branches. Beautiful tree. Alright, let's carry on. I still need to get close enough so that I can talk on the game drive radio for your surprise. Not telling you anything more. I like to keep things interesting every now and again. And it'll also be nice to go through and go to those big open areas of Cheetah Plains. There's always the chance of, well, I'm not going to say anything more, because if I tell you too much what we could see, then you're going to guess what we are going to see. One of the things we always talk about, and will happen one day on our live safari, because statistically it has to happen, is the answer to Andrew's question, which is, has anyone seen the cheetah taking down an ostrich? Now, I've seen it, I've been fortunate enough to see it before when I worked in the Kalahari. I have not seen it here yet. We have seen one, I was with Dave on Cheetah Plains, one attempted cheetah hunt. It was aborted relatively quickly when the wildebeest caught on that they were being hunted or stalked by the cheetah, and they dashed off as quickly as possible, and the cheetah half-heartedly ran after them and then gave up relatively quickly. But Andrew, it will happen. One day it will happen live on our safaris. It has to, statistically. And cheetah are specialized ostrich catchers. And they're generally the only one of the big cats that are fast enough to keep pace with the ostrich. They just have to get close enough so that they still have that element of surprise before they manage to, because the ostrich is renowned for its stamina. The cheetah is absolutely not. I'm trying to show you these wood hoopoes, but they keep disappearing. I think they've all disappeared now. Oh, hold on. They're playing very tricky. Viam's managed to spot one. Well done, Viam. One of my favorite birds to stop and look at because they're so thoroughly entertaining. But they're being very inconspicuous right now. Just a glimpse of the red bull every now and again. And I know that for those of you who are building up your bird list, it's one that we have seen relatively regularly. We're starting to struggle for some of you to find you or to get new birds on camera. But for newer viewers, we always encourage people to start up a bird list. Keep track of all the different birds that you get to see on camera. And the green wood hoopoe is one of them, and I can hear them calling. Playing hard to get. Let's carry on though. As I said, I need to get closer to the sighting so that I can call myself in and find out if we can get to join it. But yes, for those of you building up your bird lists, it is exciting because summer is coming. It might not be quite as soon as as the woodlands kingfishers coming back just yet, but the summer birds will start returning slowly but surely, and maybe then we can start to add. Some of our viewers have lists that number over 200 birds, others are sitting at 150. You start to get to those numbers and it becomes more and more tricky for us to add to them. I'm going to hop out of the vehicle and pick up the rubbish that's in the middle of the road. While I do that, let's go back to James and find out how his lion hunt is going.
Hello everybody again. We just came to the area, the other side of the drainage here, and I'm afraid there's no sign except for a very substantial pile of lion dung, which Jean-Andre very kindly pointed out to me, he said, stop, 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 stop. I thought he'd spotted the lions. So I said, what? And he said, there's a very large lion scat, and of course you don't want to drive over a lion scat, because then every time the wheel turns, you get this disgusting whiff. Anyway, we're going to head back up onto Hyena Road. That's literally just over there at that big tree. But what I want to, that's no good for a silhouette, is it yet? I'm trying to get a beautiful silhouette of the vultures on that tree there. But this is where the male was this morning. The male came through here this morning. And this is where Vernon left him. But obviously they have moved on. Anyway, we'll try and quietly make our way out of here. But it's not going to be easy given the amount of foliage that the elephants have left strewn about the place. That would be the path. But Jean-Ray, do you think we'll... I don't think we'll move that thing. Not really sure how we're going to do this actually. We might have to come back the way we came. In which case you will most certainly lose signal. We'll just try one foray up here, otherwise we'll have to come back the way we came. We obviously don't want to do any damage. And most of the trees, just to keep you posted, if you are a new viewer, most of the trees that we drive over will pop up behind us. And those that don't are normally kind of encroacher species like Acacia exuvialis or the flaky thorn or the strychnos bushes. They do unfortunately pop up. Yeah, we'll try and get through here. Jean-Andre, just watch yourself here. This is going to possibly take the skin off your arm. But don't worry, I do have a first aid kit with me. And so we'll sew your arm back on. That would be quite a nice addition to Safari Live, don't you think? Surgery Live. I think I'm going to suggest that actually. Do you think Surgery Live would have a following, Jean-Andre?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it would, for those who... So you know that we make these little highlights reels and we put them on Facebook and we put them on social media. And the lion kill, which I didn't see until this morning, unbelievable sighting, incredible stuff, but quite gory and quite difficult to watch and not particularly attractive to see, but amazing to see. And that, by the end of one day having been shared on social media, I think had some very, what we would consider quite a low number of hits or views on social media. And then we posted, I think this morning, a video of the little cubs that we had at the kill site today, and that immediately took off. People started sharing it and watching it and enjoying it, and I just think it's amazing. People are fascinated by little baby animals. We are, I don't know, we're just completely drawn to them, far more so than we are to death and destruction, which I know, given the state of the world today, it wouldn't seem necessarily true. But I think it's quite nice that actually that we're not necessarily drawn to the death and destruction of that kill, but much rather to the new life that was represented by those little cubs. Is that any good to you, Jean-Andre, or was it a hopeless silhouette?
It's a little bit sharp still.
A little bit sharp still. I'll just give you a quick look at that white-backed vulture as it watches the sunset from its perfect little perch. I will take a rank average photograph of it. That Andre will then critique for me. There we go. Rain, you're 16 years old and you ask a very, very good question. You say, would vultures eat at night? And the answer, Rain, is no, probably not. Because they can't take off at night, or they can, but it's very difficult for them to take off at night. And so I think what you'll find is that they wouldn't eat at night. But what they would do is wait around over a kill at night. So if that makes sense at all, they wouldn't necessarily try and eat at night, but they'd wait around at night. And the other reason they wouldn't eat at night is that they don't see so well at night. And that means that if a lion or a hyena was to come bucketing out of the bushes at them, well, then they would be in quite a lot of trouble. All right, let's move up a little bit. Thank you, Jean-Andre. It wasn't... Hey, you want to see the photo? Jean-Andre wants to see my photo, everybody. And because my ego is so enormous, I'm going to show it to you. But then Jean-Andre will quickly sort that out for me. There you are, Jean-Andre. Huh? Not too bad. Huh? That's quite pretty. I mean, with some heavy editing, it could be usable. Alright, on we go. Here is Hyena Road up in front of us, and there are no lions here. Go and catch up with her and find out perhaps what her surprise is.
And luckily for us, there doesn't seem to be too much of a queue to see this particular surprise, and so we can head off straight to that direction. In the unfortunate case, I managed to pick up the litter that was on the road. It appears to be a split rubbish bag. Must have fallen off the back of the retrieval truck. It's very smelly. It's in my footwall right now, and it's very smelly. As long as we keep going forwards, it's absolutely fine, but as soon as I stop, the scent of fresh rubbish starts to sort of waft in the direction. I probably should have dumped a lodge through this direction. But we're in a hurry. We're going to that surprise in a moment. I'm heading to a place on Cheetah Plains called Djuma Dam, which is interesting for those of you who know the history. Of course, we operate on a place called Djuma. Not a common place. The two places are connected because the original Cheetah Plains, it was owned by the, and fascinatingly enough, this used to be the end of the Sabi Sand. Djuma, Torchwood, all of those places, they didn't exist as the Sabi Sand as we know it. Of course they existed, but they were farmland. And they were farms and neighbors, but they were not open to the Kruger National Park, and they were not part of the Sabi Sand 40 years ago. Only in the last few decades that they were added to the list. And I met somebody recently, well, I didn't meet him, I found out recently that a friend of mine, a great tracker who works where I used to work, called Patson, who studied from the great Renius, who came to give us tracking lessons. He used to live here and walk all the way to a township called Dixie, supplies, and then all the way back to Cheetah Plains, which in a straight line is very far. And he said he used to take a little wheelbarrow to go and get what a lot of the local people, as part of their staple diet, called pup or maize meal. It's sort of the equivalent, rough equivalent of polenta. Go and get and collect 50 kilograms of pup and drag it all the way back on this really long walk. In a wheelbarrow. Yeah, in a wheelbarrow. I don't know if he said it was a wheelbarrow or a cart. We had a slight sort of language barrier there, but it was an interesting description. Either way, 50 kilograms is a lot of weight to carry that distance. Oh, looky here. Oh, Sean, I'm gonna have to tell him to keep it a secret. Hello, everybody. How's it? Hello, how's it, Sid? Are you? Good, thanks.
Hello, Mum.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, excellent, alright, yeah.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy it,
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, then.
Bye, enjoy your drive. Shame, the poor guests get really nervous. They get upset about being on camera, which is why, of course, we keep it off them. We don't zoom in or anything like that. I I assume we're going this way. We'll find out. Yes, we're going that way. Yes, we are indeed. Oh, wonderful. Look at this. This is awesome. There you go. Might not have been the lions we were trying to find, but we have such a cool surprise for you. Look, and they're having so much fun. Piles of cubs, look at them. They're all having this amazing time. I can't believe there aren't more people here. The Styx cubs in action. Pouncing. We do all get a little bit gooey when it comes to sights like this. We've got 3 different groups all playing with each other. Absolutely awesome. Now, the Styx cubs seem to have 2 different age groups. The older ones, like the ones that you're seeing at the moment, and then the slightly smaller ones. This is only the 2nd time I've ever seen them. Look at you little ones. You're too cute. This is absolutely awesome. I'm so glad we could get here before the sun goes down, because we definitely can't spotlight them. Oh, this is why it's great to grow up a lion cub. So many cousins to play with, cousins and siblings. Oh, pinned. I'm so glad they're spending more time on cheetah plains now. Look at them little bundles of mischief. Oh, got your tail. The little one wants to go back to the adults and the older one won't let it. Little boy. Oh, I just want to go back to mommy. Oh, one of them's made a happy escape, but has been distracted by a stick. The other one still can't get up. Maybe distraction. Oh, there's too many things to watch happening right now. Here's so many things going on. Little bundle of cubs. Oh. We are so lucky. It feels like it's just cubs galore at the moment, and I, for one, am absolutely loving it. Baby cats everywhere. Now we just need some cheetah cubs to complete the collection. Now, unlike the Nkuhuma cubs, the Styx cubs, whilst equally healthy and vibrant and clearly full of life, they are a little bit more mangy than the Nkuhuma cubs. They do have mange, or what looks like to me to be mange. Arr. Fierce predator teeth coming out. Look at the body language of that little one. It's getting cross now. Ears back, tail thrashing. It's not happy. It's had enough of this game. Backtracking. Too much. Calling mom. Another one bounding in. And Tasha, they're not related. Well, actually they are related, I suppose, to the Nkuhuma cubs. They most likely share the fathers. The Birmingham boys are in charge of the Styx, or dominant over the Styx and the Nkuhumans, so they've mated with both. Standing by. Hey, Sean. Oh, that one. Sorry guys, just on the Game Drive comms here. Sorry. So they are related because they share, most likely share fathers in some way. One of the Birmingham boys will be the father of at least some of these cubs, and vice versa with the Nkuhumas. What I was thinking, Tasha, which made me say no initially, was of course the moms. But what I was going to go into was the possibility that at some point the Styx and the Nkuhumas would be related in some way, if you were to go far enough back. But yes, fathered by the same coalition. Look at them go. They are just having so much fun in this built-in playground. That is the dried up Djuma Dam. Oh. Just bear with me 1 second. I need to get onto the game drive comms, but fortunately we have got some amazing sightings to keep us occupied. Roy. Oh! Somebody's cross, letting out a little bit of a growl. And Darlene, we haven't even got around to showing you the other part of the sighting and where the cubs have been, or at least one cub was trying to get to. Darlene's watching in New Hampshire. There are the 3 lionesses plus 1 sleepy cub, keeping an eye on what's going on. But I'm going to tear you away from those lionesses because look at the cubs in the tree now. Sorry, I'm so distracted. I didn't even show you guys the adult lionesses, but look at this. Look at the tree climbing skills. Not often we get to see lion cubs up a tree, bounding to join in the game. It's a rough and tumble world if you're a lion cub. Oops, especially when you step in a hole. Hey, little one. Pinned. And every now and again one squeaks when the play gets a little bit too rough. And this is why, and I've spoken about this before, this is why moms hide their cubs for the first 6 weeks, or one of the reasons why they hide them for the first 6 weeks of their life before introducing them to the rest of the pride, because the game gets very rough. And little cubs, they actually aren't always robust enough to handle it. But these guys, they're having a ball. And these games that they're playing right now will be essential for the skills later in life, the skills that we saw in practice just days ago with that buffalo hunt. They're training themselves. Oh, and having fun doing it. Intercepted. This is incredible. There you go. You can see it in the body language. The more dominant cubs and the... Oh, don't mess with me. I'm a fierce, angry cat. And I'm getting cross. I'm going to come up here and seek refuge on the tree. See how cross that little cub is. Its ears back. It's had enough of the game. Oh, but now it's running away and hunting instinct is triggered. Got you by the foot. We've seen the Nkuhumas do this playfully every now and again. We've been lucky enough to watch sightings like this. And brings us to Fox Hat's question. Oh, somebody's going to get pounced on. No, I'm the king of the castle. Fox Hat, I hope you are loving this as much as I am. Fox Hat wants to know what age the cub's teeth will be sharp enough to cut through the skin. They are already. Those of you with puppies or kittens, you know what those needle-like baby teeth are like. Look at them go! They're little monsters tearing around the place. Oh, 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 incoming! Oh, this is just the best game ever. Cornered. So Foxhat, they are already, but they know to sort of keep it a little bit more relaxed than that. So they might actually draw blood every now and again. But we've seen the Nkumas play with each other. We've seen the way that they often batter each other around, and they're actually very good at pulling their punches. You, little one, are going to fall out of that tree if you are not careful. Sean. Roy. Sorry everybody, I am watching this sighting and I am loving every moment of it. I'm just trying to sort something out on the game drive comms as well. Did I jump the lineup? Copy, thanks. Look at you with your little mangy eye. So the mange that they have, oops, sorry, I've had my foot on the brake the whole time. I've been so ecstatic with this sighting. The mange that these little cubs have is not life-threatening. It is natural, and it came probably from one of their mothers. We did notice that the Styx females had a little bit of mange. And it will probably come and go throughout their lives as these little ones start to grow older. Oh, you stuck there. There's claws coming out. Getting a bit too much. I don't know where to look. I don't know where we look next. I mean, there's now 2 cubs on the tree. Sorry, 3. Oh no, it's 2 cubs now. There's 2 cubs on the end of the tree. One of them is going to fall over at some point. I hope you are all loving this. It's incredible. Ooh, graceful descent, sort of. Not quite the same level of coordination that leopard cubs have. What you doing, and can I join you with your stick? See the size difference there? It's very, very clear with the Styx cubs. It'll start to disappear as they get older. It'll be harder to tell them apart. Oh, full of the joys. Scamper. I'm trying to sneak up on the cub really carefully, but it's very difficult when the mud is all loose. Oh, and there's another game going on there. That one with the mangy eye is very easily identifiable. Such characters. Perfect scene of playing cubs. They're gonna stalk the others. They're gonna try to, but be flummoxed by the other cub. And having walked in these dried up dams before, they're quite risky spots, because the elephants and the other larger animals have walked in the mud, and that's dried with these huge pit holes, some of them deep enough to swallow a lion cub. They'd be able to get out, but it requires some delicate footwork, the kind of which they haven't quite mastered just yet. There you go, look, there's a little bit of blood on that one's belly. That might just be from skin problems. But it could also be from the trauma of playing with each other. Little one. Yeah, good scratching post. Shame. That little one's definitely got the worst of the mange. The one on the left. Hasn't stopped it from being terribly playful. Every now and again you see the slightest expression of panic in the younger one's faces when it gets a bit too robust. Oh! Misstep. And welcome to Cheryl in Illinois. Now Cheryl's been watching since 2014. Oh, there you go, a little bit of affection. Oh, coupled with the odd bite. And, oh, shame is your claw stuck. Oh, there we go. We managed to sort it out. Cheryl, no, this isn't the first time we've seen so many cubs playing together. At least, well, perhaps there's been more. There's been other occasions before I started working here. But we did get to see the Styx cubs together like this. Although they weren't quite so playful. But we got to see them a week ago. Just before Taylor did her interview. We got to see them here on a kudu kill with the 3 Styx adults and then the little cubs, but they were not nearly as active and as playful as they are right now. This is amazing. This truly is. I think this is, in a way, Cheryl, yes, this is absolutely the most cubs we've seen playing like this, at least. I'm going to stalk, but I'm about to be ambush. And Cheryl, you're right. Cheryl says she still finds it amazing. I find it amazing. Doesn't matter how long you spend in the bush, how many sights you witness, moments like this never get old. Oh. Especially, and Cheryl knows she's been watching since 2014, especially with the year that the Nkuhumas and the Styx had last year. To see this is like we've come full circle. I'm so glad we decided to come to Cheetah Plains. I have to be honest, I wasn't sure if the babies were here, if the cubs were here. I'm thrilled that they are. Oh, it's tough being a lion cub. Hi, little one. Look at you. With your scabby ears. Shame. Some of them have got really nasty parts to the skin condition. Oh, getting ready to stalk. And the attack is launched. The tackle is made. Sorry, I was so distracted. Fiona, yes, it is entirely possible for white lions and normal coloured lions to be born to the same litter, especially if you've got 2 parents that are normal coloured, but both carry the recessive genes. So most of the cubs will be tawny coloured, and maybe one or two will come out white. They don't get treated any differently from what we can tell, or from what I've heard about white lion behaviour. And I mean, they're not a special different species, they're just lions. The mothers don't seem to treat them any differently, as far as any research suggests. Oh, that one's still playing King of the Castle on his tree. I'm still on my tree. This is my log. I own it. How's this for a scene playing out right in front of us? And thank you to all of you sending through your screenshots. This is so special. And Oh, I do have a camera. I'm such an idiot. Brent lent me his camera and I've been sitting here not taking any pictures and now the light's gone. I'm a twit. I got so distracted. But thank you for those of you who take your screenshots because they're memories for us as well as for you for the rest of our lives. We'll always have those screenshots to go back to, which is also truly special. See how instinctive some of this stuff is. They haven't learnt this from their parents or watching their mothers. This is instinct. Just like puppies or kittens. And the perfect chew toy. And Andrine, yes, absolutely. These little ones are going to sleep so well tonight. They've tired themselves out, and in fact, one of them has even made its way back to Mom, along with the one that was sleeping there, for a bit of cuddle and some gentle affection, rather than the sharp nips and claws of its cousins. Ah, there we go, some gentle grooming. I'm sure it's that one that was trying to get back earlier. That's much nicer. And they will, at some point, curl up in a puddle of cubs and rest. In fact, these two, with their chew toy, or these three, sorry, with their chew toy, the older ones, I think they're going to be the ones that sleep best of all. Oh, there goes another little one that's making its way towards Mom, attempting to avoid the attentions of the rest of the lion cubs. Quick, 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 quick. Slowly but surely, one by one, the little ones are getting tired. And it's time to go back to Mom. Especially the younger cubs. Here we go. Back to the safety of the adults as it starts to get dark. Like tired children at the end of the day. Let us spend as much time as possible as we can with these little ones, because once the sun goes down and it gets too dark for us to watch them, we will not be spotlighting them, as is to be expected. They're far too young. Oh, look how tentative that is. Mom, you awake, Mom? Mom? I'm not, of course, not even sure if that is Mom. Might also be Aunt. Okay, fine, I'll just hug you regardless. Are you sure you're not awake? Always absent-mindedly scratching the poor Styx cubs. And now it's bath time. Bath time for tired little cubs. Getting dark and cold. One more tiny one has to run the gauntlet of the older cubs to get back to the safety of the adult females. Oh, a little bit of affection. The bonds that will last them for the rest of their lives if they're female or male. Half-hearted knock. Everybody's leaving, little one. You're going to get left all alone with your stick. Andrine's spot on. There's going to be some very tired little cubs at the end of the day. And Gerda seems to be absolutely right. Playtime is over at 5:30 Central African time. Look, oh, look at that female. Look at her face. Have you ever seen such an unimpressed looking lioness in your entire life? She was fast asleep. Oh, look at the lip twitch. So put upon and long-suffering. That is hilarious. All I want to do is sleep, and the kids just won't leave me alone. Her eyes are still closed. It's like if she keeps her eyes closed, she can keep pretending she's asleep and this isn't happening. Yeah. I'm awake now. I'm going to try to go back to sleep. Oh, little cub doing yoga stretches. And yes, absolutely, Gerda. Although, that being said, playtime never quite ends when it's supposed to, does it? There's always those that want to carry on a little bit longer, stretch it for a little bit further. And the biggest member of the group of cubs, which is this little one, to me, it's definitely the largest, and it's probably a male, but it's hard to tell. I haven't been able to properly confirm. Not quite sure if it's ready to go back to mom yet. And as our cubs start to calm down a little bit as we reach the end of the day, we're right hidden behind a dam wall. Let's go to James, who's got a nice view of the setting sun.
It is a nice view, everybody. Unfortunately, it's fading rather more quickly than I thought it was going to. It was really burnished l'orange and red, and now it is just sort of very subtle, hazy, reddy, orange, yellow over the Drakensberg Mountains there, the northern fringes thereof. We're quite close to Sydney's Dam here, and we've driven most of the northern Buffelshoek boundary, and we found a couple of impala, but that's about all really. So we'll go and have a look and see if anything's wanting to have a drink. And Wendy has behaved immaculately so far today. She hasn't given us any trouble at all. We're not sure why that should be, because I don't think anybody's done anything to her, but it certainly feels like she's had some work done on her. So, with any luck, when we get to Buffelshoek Dam, not Buffelshoek Dam, Sydney's Dam, we should still have some signal. No elephants at all, which is just amazing to me. Maybe there'll be one or two having a drink here. Then I suppose it will be time to put on the lights. Amazing, because by this time, of course, 16 days ago when I was on leave, it was dark. We had the lights and the spotlights out already. Not so much now, when I can smell some delightful potato bush smell. Might also be some cooking from a house near the gate. There's... oh, well, I mean, there's something at Sydney's Dam there, Gendre. Isn't that impressive? I didn't realise they were there. I'm not sure we would have come down here if I'd known that. Anyway, that's just digging out the dam in preparation for the deluge that is expected this year. Anyway, as you can see, not much is very thirsty. I think a testament rather to the coolth of the day. We've had an unbelievable cat day, of course. Some amazing cats this morning. Both leopard cubs, 3 lion cubs, and then a whole 8 more now, plus the 2 leopard cubs. So really rather a cub spectacular day. Right, now before it gets too dark, let's go back to Jamie and those cubs for the last little embers of the day. We'll head south and see if we can find something else.
And it is indeed starting to get a little bit dark. The youngsters that have been sort of left behind from the game are now calling across to the adults with the little ow, ow cub sounds. Even the lionesses seem to think that perhaps it's time that they were on their way. Oh, or not. Nice that regardless of the bonds that they have with their cubs, their bond with each other is still equally strong. There's nothing like the sound effects from lion cubs. Growl, growl. Yes, such a big scary noise. One day, little one, your noise will strike fear across the African plains, but not just yet. A picture of contentment. Casting an eye across to the rest of the little cubs that are starting to think about, believe it or not, playing again. The fear of missing out is fierce with little lion cubs. And they are keen to start the game up again. Trotting over to investigate. What you doing? Can I join you? That was my stick originally. Except for this little guy's found the comfiest spot in the mud. Is that really cozy, little one? Nestled in the mud, in the dried mud of Djuma Dam. Still too much going on. I still don't know where to look. It is clearly getting a bit too dark, but we're going to stretch this for as long as we possibly can before we have to go. Making little begging sounds. Now the cubs look in places quite distressing with their mange. Penny Pine wanted to know whether or not perhaps the mother's saliva would help to rid or to help reduce the mange that they have around on their skin. Penny Pine, I don't think so. In a way, I think it might actually serve to worsen it, just from that constant irritation. I know that saliva does have certain antibiotic properties in certain situations. Lion saliva, it's not the lion mouth is not the cleanest place in the world, so especially when there's open skin, she might even increase the chance of infection. But she's keeping it clean, and the rasping probably really helps with the itchiness, because of course lions have that incredible those incredible spurs on their tongue that they use that can actually strip meat from bone, although they utilize it a bit more gently on their own skin, and for good reason, and on their cubs. We're so incredibly lucky. These animals feel so comfortable around us that we can sit and watch them going about their daily lives, learning to be great and fierce hunters. Sort of. Oh, bless you. Penny Pine, I might do some more research into mange and see whether there's any chance that the female saliva will help. I don't think so, but I could stand corrected on that, and I'm happy to be corrected. If any of you know anything more about saliva and mange, I don't, and in my own mind I doubt whether it would help at all. But perhaps there is a reason why it might, and I'd be happy to hear from all of you if you've got more information about that. You're welcome to send that, along with any questions you have, through on #SafariLive on Twitter, or you can email through on questions@wildearth.tv. Bath time. After playtime comes bath time. Now we've had several little cubs get so close to us now. Look at this. I mean, they're right next to us. Haven't given us a second look. Playing next to the car. Clonk. You are very brave, little one. Are you a fierce and scary hunter? This log just proved to be too much of an attraction for you. This is definitely the biggest one of the group. Hello, you. So distracted. Roger says that he wonders where the moms are going to stash them before they go out hunting. And it's a good question, Roger, because some of the little ones are just too small to accompany the adults on their hunts, but very soon they will be going with. And then whenever the females come across something they want to hunt, they just give the signal to the cubs to sit down and stay still. Although once they start to get a little bit older, I've seen cubs of around 6 months old repeatedly mess up a hunt, much to the chagrin of their poor mothers. Is that log very tasty? You're getting very brave, and whilst you are not very scary, your mum is. I'm not going to mess with your mother, so please don't decide to come any closer. I do feel as though Mom is really keeping a close eye on us, or she was. Just making sure that we're up to no good. Oh, that we are not up to no good. It's alright, girl. Promise you, I don't mean any harm to your little ones. You're a little attention seeker, you. Oh. Oh, I was about to say time to get up. Clearly not. Perhaps time to suckle then. Last time I saw these Styx cubs, only one of the females seemed to be lactating, and as a result she found herself with a bundle of cubs attached to her belly, which she didn't seem terribly worried about, but I couldn't help feeling sorry for her. So it'll probably be the mother of the youngest cubs that's still lactating, but with all lions they will allo-suckle. I think it's getting a little bit dark now. Might be time for us to say goodbye. I do wish, though, that we didn't have to. I also sort of wish we didn't have cubs right next to us now, because I'm not entirely sure how one goes about starting the vehicle without startling them, although they seem very, very relaxed. Hey, little ones, did you have to come here now? Are you adventuring? You're adventuring very far from Mom. Well, the Styx Pride has gone from strength to strength since that disastrous day, just around this time last year, or maybe just a little bit more than a year ago, that the Birmingham boys killed all 3 of the new Styx cubs that we'd been watching. It was a very, very sad day for all of us here at Wild Earth and Safari Live, and all of our viewers. But the Styx Pride has come to their moment of triumph once again, just like the Nkuhumas, with a bundle of 8 new, healthy little baby lions. And it's time for us to say goodbye to them. I think it is really too dark. I'm going to have to try and start up the vehicle without scaring anybody. Oh, breakfast. Oh, dinner time now. Dinner time for tired cubs. And very soon bedtime. Or, maybe not bedtime, maybe up and about and going for a walk with Mom. Time for us to go. Sadly, I wish it were not so. But we're going to leave them, and while we extricate ourselves from Djuma Dam. I'm going to send you back over to James, sorry, I've been looking to Brent for the last 2 weeks. James is back from leave. We're going to send you over to James and find out what his afternoon, or how his afternoon is treating him.
I wonder how Nat.Geo Smith would feel about his nearest and dearest confusing me for him. I shall have to ask him when I get home. Anyway, everybody, we have found absolutely nothing except now a fairly stiff breeze blowing out of the southeast. And that's just because the sun's gone down, and so the katabatic flow of air coming out of the drainage systems, out of the slopes up onto the top, is starting to blow, I think. It's definitely the temperature change that's done it. But the clouds that were threatening to rain on us have disappeared somewhere, probably over the Mozambican Channel by now. And so there will be no further rain, I don't think, today. So watch your heads here, everybody. Duck down. I was rather hoping to find some kind of a cat around here. Mostly I was hoping to find Shadow, because she has been very unkind to me, you know. She has not introduced me to her new daughter, and I really want to see her new daughter, and no one's given her a name yet, so she maintains the name I gave her, and that is Zara, of course, much to the disgust of Nat.Geo Smith. So that's what is going to remain until the Rangers name her something else. Hello, Russell, aka Mafuta. I'm not sure why you've given yourself that name. Are you a bit of a pie eater, Russell? Mafuta, everybody, is the Zulu word for fat, so I hopefully you're not being insulting to yourself there, Russell. Russell, you're coming in September, you say, and you say, what will the game viewing be like? Russell, I think you're a South African from what it sounds like. You're in Johannesburg, so you'll be used to our kind of winter vegetation, the colours you get of winter. September is harsh until you're used to it, but you will be used to it, and so I think you're going to find that the game viewing in this area is exceptional in September. It will be dry, there'll be no leaves on the trees, there'll be the odd knobthorn with its flowers, which will smell delicious. Everything will be concentrated around the little bit of water that there is, so I think you're going to have a really good time here in September. By here, do you actually mean Djuma, or do you mean the Kruger Park in general? I mean, either way, I think you're going to have some pretty good sightings. And you're coming to Djuma. Oh, you have been here before. I think you're going to have a great time here. I think especially, I'm going to guess that around September time, driving out of the Djuma camps, Weirtaylor or Gallagher, you go and sit at one of those water holes and don't move from there. I think you're going to see action. I think it's going to be really good. And just remember, everybody, as we go towards September, August is when our first few migrants will come back. I know that you were discussing the woodland kingfisher earlier with Jamie. They won't come back yet, but certainly the Wahlberg's eagle and the yellow-billed kite are the two first ones we must watch out for. And especially our little couples of Wahlbergs that arrive, and they come back to their same nests. I especially love our pair of pale forms. I think I've got all the lights on that I can, Jandre. Oh no, I don't. Hang on, there we go. Jandre was just signalling me subtly like this. Basically, he meant to say, turn the light on, you idiot. It's dark now. Fair enough. Of course you would. There's an impala down there, which we're not going to look at, because we don't shine on them. Right, Yet again, I'm flummoxed by the astounding ingenuity of people who name themselves on the Twitterverse. Dispatch Griffin from the United States, I think that was. You say you've noticed that impala and nyala are very common out here, and are they a pest in gardens and farmlands like white-tailed deer are? No, they're not really. They normally only occur in these sort of private reserve or in protected areas. They do occur outside of some protected areas, but they tend to stay away from any kind of human activity. You will find the odd situation where a nyala or a bushbuck might get into a vegetable patch and do a bit of damage, but well, in fact, and I don't know if he's watching, but Brian Joubert planted a magnificent garden of sunflowers, and one morning while we were on leave, a bushbuck came and ate them all. So he's going to be very upset by that. So the bushbuck was slightly, I suppose, a pest there, but no, they're certainly not a pest that anyone really worries about. Thank you, Dispatch Griffin. I'm not looking forward to when Brian sees his beautiful sunflowers. The stalks are still there, so maybe they'll grow. He's going to be so cross. Well, poor old Brian. Brian is back tomorrow, everybody. And the quietness of the night continues. No Shadow, no Zara, no Sundile. Now, word on the street has it that Shadow is being pushed, sort of squished in her territory by Karula, sort of to the north and to the east, and by Salayeshe, interestingly, who's come across from Elephant Plains and Simbambili to the north and west. And I just said to Brent, I wondered if that wasn't because Shadow, hadn't moved a little bit further south into Kwatile's territory. Kwatile, a recently deceased leopard, we think fell prey, not prey so much as a victim to a snake bite. And I wonder if that isn't what's happened. But Brent reckons that she's also being pushed from the south by another leopard. So quite interesting that, and that's why I came down here. I thought if she is being squished, then the chances of us seeing her are that much higher. There are some zebra. The genre, that's exactly how we finished drive yesterday. Some zebra that were invisible to everybody except me. We can't see those, can we, Jean-Andre? Can we try? Yeah, thank you so much. There we go. And Brian Joubert is watching, and unfortunately he's found out about his sunflowers as a result of me. Sorry about that, Brian. I wasn't here. I was on leave. So I do hope that they come back. I can tell you that the stalks are still there. They're still green. I think they'll grow back again. On we go. Oh, hang on. We might get a nice picture here. We won't, will we, Andre? Okay, never mind. Not enough light. It was a zebra looking out west over the incredible sunset. That's quite sweet to see, but it would have been invisible to you, I'm afraid. Let's carry on this way. Brian, I have some more sunflower seeds. If you want to plant further, you can have them. I think that's magnificent that Brian is watching on his leave. That's fantastic. Just going to turn the lights off here because there's some impala. Now, we had a question about whether white-tailed deer are in any way similar, I suppose, to impala and nyala. Well, they are, in that I know that they get stunned by lights. Impala get completely stunned by lights, so we're just going to turn them off as we go past. And there we are, we'll turn them back on again. Right, let's try and find something nocturnal, shall we, Andre? Something that we can put a light on so you don't complain to me that I'm telling you to film impossible things. What a chilly wind. We don't have too much time left, so I'm going to drive just slightly quicker to see if we don't spot something in the few remaining minutes. I haven't driven down here since I came back from leave. Not one elephant seen. Oh no, there were 2 elephants seen on Djuma today. They went north into Buffelshoek, but that's it. There are no tracks of elephants. They are simply not around. And I'd love to know if anybody had any theories about why that is, that are perhaps better than the theory I gave you this morning. Alright, that's going to be it from us, everyone. Jeandre and I are now going to have our supper, aren't we, Jeandre? Yes. Jeandre's looking very hungry at the moment. We'll hand you back across to Jamie for the last few minutes. Thank you very much for joining us on what has been an amazing afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow as the dawn breaks at 06:30. Bye-bye.
And we are also heading back for supper. I think that both Liam and myself have definitely worked up an appetite, or at least we worked up an appetite watching the Cubs work up an appetite. The reason I've got all my lights off is we've got another vehicle coming past us. Let's just navigate around. I don't know who we've got here. How's it?
Hello, Jenny.
How are you?
Very good.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello everybody.
Did you leave that in Gala Stemlock?
Yeah, I left the Gala Stemlock. It was too dark.
Not moving at all.
Females were getting up and yawning, but not. It looked like maybe they were looking south.
Yeah.
But it was too dark for us with all the milking puns.
Okay.
Okay, alright.
Ciao.
Cheers guys, enjoy.
Thank you.
Bye. Sorry everybody, just giving Andries an update about how much longer where the lions were going after we left them. Guests looking absolutely thrilled, like they've had an amazing afternoon. So hopefully they've got a good one to look forward to tomorrow, as do we. Perhaps the Styx will still be around, perhaps the Nkuhumas will pop their noses back out of that drainage line system, and hopefully Karula, Cubs, maybe even Tingana will still be in the same spot. We'll have to wait for tomorrow morning to find out, but the prospects are good and the place seems to be exploding with tiny baby cats absolutely everywhere. Aren't we spoiled? We've come to the end of our sunset safari and it's time to do our thank yous and farewells. So thank you to Liam for his fantastic camera work. It's lovely to have you back, Liam, as well as to Kirsty, as it's also lovely to have Kirsty back, and all of the lovely ladies in final control. Most importantly, a huge big thank you to all of you. I'm looking forward to seeing your screenshots when I get home tonight. In the meantime, we will catch you in a few hours for the sunrise safari. Bye everybody and enjoy your day.